In this webinar, we will be exploring how BIMx can help us present our design ideas to our clients or our stakeholders. And in this webinar, we'll exactly see how we can prepare our Archicad model in a best way to create a error-free BIMx model, and what are the different BIMx publishing methods that are available. And we'll also see how BIMx work and what is BIMx transfer site and what are the different platforms that are available, and we'll see what are the functions and new key features that are added to the BIMx. And we'll also see how BIMx is used by different architects for multiple use cases. And at the end of the session, we can have Q&A where you can ask your question. You can post it on the chat. I'll try to respond with my answers to the questions. So let me give you a overview of what is BIMx. So BIMx by Graphisoft is a powerful and intuitive application. It is designed for exploring and presenting the BIM models on various devices, including desktops, mobile devices like our Android and Apple devices, and the web interfaces like our browsers. So it basically bridges the gap between the designers and the stakeholders, like the clients or consultants that we have. So by providing an accessible and interactive way to visualize and understand our architectural projects, BIMx let us bridge these gaps. So the core function of BIMx is that BIMx let us create a hyper model, which is the core concept of integrating 3D building model with the 2D documentations. So basically, we need a BIM authoring software to create a BIMx hypermodel. In our case, Archicad let us create this BIMx model, and it hyperlinks our 3D model along with our 2D sheets by creating a seamlessly uh, by creating a seamless model which allows us to navigate between the 3D and 2D. The 3D exploration of BIMx, it's like a game-like navigation, which will allow users to walk through and explore 3D models intuitively. So without even needing any skills of architectural or CAD softwares, any users can use the BIMx app to explore the project. And again, it also acts as a 2D documentation viewer where BIMx includes a fast and efficient viewer for 2D projects, documentations, where we can quickly go through our relevant plans, sections, and all the elevation documents that we have. And then we can also create real-time model cuttaways where we can cut dynamic cross sections of the 3D and to examine interior structures, MEP, and all the other construction details that we have attached in our BIM model. So this is the agenda. To the people who have joined now, I'll go through again. So we will be seeing all the prerequisites, what all is necessary for exporting a BIMx hypermodel. So we need Archicad, BIM Cloud, and BIMx, and then we'll need also we'll see how the BIMx workflow happens, and then we'll also see how to prepare the Archicad model for the export. So as I said, we need a BIM authoring tool. In our case, Archicad is the BIM authoring tool that let us create this BIMx hypermodel. And for certain features like connecting our project on the cloud and having a feature like messaging within the app to your teammates, we'll also need BIM Cloud. And yes, BIMx. So I'll quickly talk about Archicad because if you, most of us have an idea of how Archicad works. Also, there might be users who are new to Archicad, so I'll just give a quick brief. So Archicad is our BIM authoring tool designed for architects, and this particular BIM authoring tool is integrated within the design workflow, where we can use Archicad throughout the entire life cycle of our project. For example, from the pre-design conceptual stage to the schematic design development and construction and facility management, we can throughout use Archicad for the entire life cycle of the project. We can design, visualize, collaborate, and document through Archicad. And BIMx is one of the documentation methods that Archicad let us create an interactive documentation style. So basically, the concept is that we create an information-rich 3D model, and from the 3D model, we create uh, horizontal and vertical section cuts, which is our viewpoints, and viewpoints are nothing but our plans and sections. So from the viewpoints, we create multiple other views that will be on our view map. So these are the different views that I create. For example, I can have multiple floor plans based on one ground floor. Like one will be my furniture layout, and one will be my electrical layout. So in such cases, I can create multiple multiple views based on my viewpoint. And then I'll have my layout book where I can drag and drop all my views to create a design sheet. So all these design sheet as a bunch or a folder, I can create it and put it on a publisher. And this publisher set is what I export or publish from Archicad would be my final submission. So from the publisher, I can publish all my design sheets to PDFs, DWGs, and of course, BIMx format. So in this webinar, we will be talking about how I can publish my design documents to BIMx and what BIMx will let us do. And to give a quick introduction about BIM Cloud, BIM Cloud is nothing but our data hub for our projects, for our Archicad projects. It also acts like a teamwork integration where you can work on your project sitting in a different geographic locations, and you can work simultaneously with your colleagues on a project. So it acts like a data hub where you can store your projects. Also, it hosts your projects to multiple users. They can join and work on it together. So now let's start with BIMx. So BIMx is nothing but a presentation tool where you can export your BIMx hypermodel and present it to your clients through your Android devices or your desktop, or even with your web interfaces like browser. So how basically BIMx work is that from the authoring tool, once the model is done, you export it through a hypermodel, which is the .BIMx file. So then this file can be directly opened on your BIMx desktop app, on your mobile devices, or on the web interfaces as well. So basically, this hypermodel is a combination of your 3D model plus your 2D documentation and all the building information available for the particular design elements, and also the interconnected viewpoints. So interconnected viewpoints are nothing but different hyperlinked cutaways that are made from the 3D model. So as I explained, all the documentation is made by cutting the 3D model. So everything is interconnected as hyperlinks. So let's see what are the prerequisites to export a good BIMx model. So these are the factors that affect the complexity, and for a good BIMx model, we'll have to check the model size and the element complexity and the repetitiveness of different elements that we place in our project file, the textures and surfaces, and modeling mistakes. So these are the factors that we should check before we export a BIMx model. So model size is nothing but when we create a 3D model, we can filter out different 3D elements like a site or any element that we have made for a render. So these are the elements that is unnecessary for a BIMx hypermodel. So we'll be taking all of these out. Either we can use marquees to select whatever we want, or we'll use layers and the layer combinations to hide off design elements that we do not need for the BIMx. And we can also use model view options where we can uh, simplify certain design elements, and then we can also use cut planes to shorten our entire 3D view. And then we can also use 3D filters to quickly take off design elements that is not required for the BIMx hypermodel. And then the element complexity. So we can also check the element complexity by running the poly count from the goodies. So which will actually give us the number of polygons in our project. So what we can do is we can control the complexity of certain elements in our model. For example, we have this plant and you can see the complexity of the leaves, which we can basically reduce it by the model view option, or else we can directly select all similar elements from the poly count, and then we can set up a low detailed model for a particular elements. Also, another point to note is that we also bring 3D models from other softwares like 3D warehouses or from the internet. So these kind of models again would be having a higher count of higher polygon count. So for visualization purpose, it is perfectly all right. But for a documentation purpose, we can have an alternative, simpler 3D object found from the Archicad library. So that way we can lessen the polygon count, and then we can make the entire experience of BIMx much smoother. And then repetitiveness. So, so BIMx use a concept called instancing. So basically, when identical objects are repeated, the 3D engine only loads one object by saving calculation. So when we place repeated items, it is recommended that we place it individually. I mean, we can obviously group it and place it, but when we place it individually. So this way, the instancing concept of BIMx, it will uh, it will automatically create all the repetitions based on one element. And then textures and surfaces. We all use different kind of textures and surfaces on our design elements, floors and slabs. We usually try to bring in more HD surfaces from the brochures or catalogs. So it is recommended that we try to keep a resolution of 1000 to 2000 pixels so that the BIMx file size remains much easier to handle. So with the latest BIMx, it also has this texture scaling feature. It even without changing the resolution, the software automatically tries to scale the texture. But making these steps would reduce the handling time much better. And then some of the modeling mistakes that we need to take care before exporting BIMx is that the overlapping surfaces, and then we can remove unnecessary elements, and then we can also try to simplify big and complex elements in one piece. And then we can also check for the wrong connections between design elements. And then we can also check if things are closer to the origin. Then the BIMx would try to calculate if there are multiple elements far from object, then it would be a little bit complicated to calculate all those things. So let me quickly jump into Archicad and check my project file if everything is all right. So I'm going to be using this particular sample model for this webinar. So with the layer and with the design and element attributes on my bottom, I'll quickly check my layers which are supposed to be visible. So currently the layer combination I have set is for rendering purposes. So that is why you can see all the site and the trees and all the elements that I have kept for visualization. I can quickly switch back to something like my floor plan 3D view or the 3D view, which I had already made a combination just by keeping out the required elements for my export. I can also check my model view options. So model view options are nothing but different model view combinations where I can set different kind of complexity for my elements, like the detailing of doors and windows and all that. And you can also use the marquee tool. Example, if you are only going to export a particular element from 3D, you can also use the marquee, and then you can do uh, you can also do uh, selected views for your export. And then you also have the filter and cut elements in 3D options. From the cutaway, you can take out the filter and cut elements. And then from there, you can again quickly select and deselect elements that you does not require for your BIMx export. For example, if I only want my architectural elements for this exports, then I can quickly turn off all the MEP elements that I have in my model, in my 3D view, like all the pipes and ducts, all the cables and carriers, and all my structural elements. I can remove all that. So this way I can control the complexity of my 3D view and model, and then I can simplify my model. Similar way, I also can use the polygon counting tool. So this way it will give me all the different polygon counts. So I can also set my level of polygon. Currently it is set to full. If my design is much complicated, I can also select particular element and then save it to simplified, or I can also turn the entire model into simplified. Same way, I can also use my design element attribute, like the surfaces. And then based on the different surfaces that I have, or even if I want to select particular surface, and then I wanted to control the surface attribute, I can go to option, element attribute surfaces. And then I can control my resolution of the particular surface. So I can quickly edit or change the scale of the surface. So that can again help me in a quicker and simplified process in the Linux. So for modeling mistakes, I can again use the finding duplicates, which is option check for duplicates and select. So currently I do not have any duplicates in my current window, so I'll just let it go. So this way, using all the element attributes, you can simplify what you want and check your model for errors. So once the model is ready to export, you can switch back to publishing. So on publishing on publishing the BIMx hyper model, there are two methods, and one is the simple method from file menu, and the other one is from the navigator. So both the menu actually lets you to the publisher set, where you can include your 3D models, layouts, and the information set that you want to export. So from the file menu, it's the easier and quicker option where you can quickly select publish BIMx hypermodel from the file, and then you can select create new publisher set. So this way you can create a new 3D view and all the filtered content that we have made now. You can set your background, and then from the layouts, you can select particular layouts, like the different sheets that we have made for the export. And then gallery is nothing but different camera views, or it's basically the views that we have made from the 3D model. So that is option one. And then if you already have a publisher set, instead of creating a publisher set, you can pick an existing set. So this way you can quickly publish with the existing publisher set. And once the publisher set is selected, rest of the publishing settings remains the same. And then the second method is the navigator method. So basically, from the navigator, which is where I will explain where my viewpoints and all my views and layouts would be. So from there, I can create a new publisher set. I will set this particular publisher set for BIMx, and then from there, I'll have two more options. So one of the option would be save files. So if I select save files, I can save the particular BIMx hypermodel onto my local device, or I can also put it into my BIM cloud, because BIM cloud is a host for all my project files. And then I can also sync it to any of my personal cloud, like the iCloud or a Google Drive. So that way I can have another cloud storage for my particular project. And then the next option is the upload BIMx hypermodel. So either I can store it onto my local device, and the other option would be uploading it to the BIMx hypermodel transfer site. So this way I can sign in with my Graphisoft ID, and then it will automatically publish my model to the transfer site. So I'll quickly show what is transfer site in the next slide. And in this menu, I'll have much more control options where I can define my view of the model, where the model should be hosted publicly or in a private folder. So BIMx transfer site is the BIMx model hosting site, where I can upload directly from Archicad, like we just saw the settings for it. or I can also upload directly from my browser if I have any BIMx models in my local storage. So this BIMx transfer site hosts all my BIMx model. I can open directly all the BIMx models from the web viewer. I can also create a link and then share it with my clients. Or I can also open the BIMx model and download models directly on my phone or my desktop and then open that particular model using the BIMx app. And instead of BIMx transfer site, if I had put it on my personal cloud, then I can take it out of there. So that is a manual process if we choose to post it in our personal cloud storage. And then again, I can also set my visibility, either it is should be public or in my private folder. So that is the BIMx transfer site. So now let me quickly talk about the BIMx platforms that we have. So we have the three different BIMx platforms. One is the mobile platform where it runs on both the operating system Android and iOS. And then again, I have my BIMx for desktop. I can download my app directly from the Microsoft Store or the App Store on both Windows and Mac OS. And then direct web access through the transfer site. So if I find my model on the transfer site, I can directly open it on my browser as well. So all we need to open any BIMx model is that we need a Graphisoft ID. So we can easily create a Graphisoft ID from the link shown here. So once the ID is created, we can open models directly on our BIMx app and desktop. For example, if we are sharing a file to our client, even the client without a Graphisoft ID can open the model and then they can explore the model for 7 days. And then the app will let app ask the user to create a Graphisoft ID. So on the mobile device is where we have most of the features of BIMx, like um, we can do quick 3D cutaway, we can measure our model, we can do a walkthrough mode, we can control our shadows and shading options, and then we can also make hyperlink the documentations that is linked to the 3D model and the 2D documentation, and then we can get the quick information of our BIM model, like all the building components and project information, and it also let us collaborate within the BIMx model. So these are the features that are available in the Android and iOS app. And similarly, there are many other features, but bit limited compared to the mobile application. We can also do similar functions from the desktop and the web browser app. So these applications can be downloaded from the store, and we don't need any license or anything to work on BIMx. So it is a free application on the App Store as well as the desktop store. And again, it is the same with the web interface. Only the Graphisoft account is needed to upload models. So let's see how we can publish our model. So in my case, I have created a particular publisher set for BIMx along with my other exporting sets like DWG, IFC, and PDFs. So in my publisher set, you can see these are the layouts that I've made, the different documentations. I have added sheet index, site plans, floor plans, and all these 2D documentations along with multiple other 3D views like a perspective, and then just a model with all the load bearing elements and some other model variations that I've made using element attributes, like a pure white model and a wooden mock-up model. So once these publisher set is made, I can quickly click on publish, and then I can quickly publish all my sheets to my transfer site. So it gets uploaded. Let's quickly jump back into the BIMx application. So this is the BIMx application for the desktop app, where you can see all the files that we have exported. You can see all the different 3D views, all the different layouts that I have uploaded, and all my sheet index, different floor plans, and different rendering views. So if I wanted to open any particular 3D model, I'll just have to click on the particular 3D view, and then the app automatically opens that particular view. In the meantime, I'll also quickly show you the BIMx transfer site once. So this is the BIMx model transfer site. So you can check this out, and you can also find many other BIMx models uploaded by users, which is set in public visibility. You can also download these models, and you can check out these models in your BIMx app from your mobile phones on your desktop app. So if you have uploaded your model into the BIMx transfer site, then you can sign in, and then you can log into your personal space, and then you can see the different models that you have uploaded. So here you have the model that you have uploaded, and from there you have the option of downloading the model straight away into my local drive, or I can also create a link and then share it with my clients or stakeholders. I can also change the visibility of the model from public to private, and then I can also directly open this model from the web browser itself. As you can see, all my layouts and site plans and all the different layouts that I have added in the publisher set as automatically is there in my browser. I can also get all the information about my project, location, and all the information that I've fed about the site, project name, and everything can be accessible from here. So now let's quickly jump into different existing features and what all I can do with my BIMx. So basically, whenever I export any schedules or BOQs that is exported from Archicad, and I can put it on a sheet and open that particular layout in BIMx. And from the layout, I can directly select any of my design elements like doors, windows, or wall, anything from the schedule. I can directly open 3D from the particular element by selecting it, and then I can create different views inside my BIMx application, and then I can create different views of cutaways, and then I can put it as a presentation called gallery. And then I can also quickly measure my drawings inside BIMx. Like I can quickly take out a tape and then measure elements directly in 3D. And then I can also join any teamwork file, and then I can collaborate with the team who is sitting in the office versus the team who is working on the site. So this way they can work together on the teamwork file, and then they also have an option to send text messages that is inbuilt within the application. And another function is that I can also quickly select an element. I can copy the hyperlink of that particular element, and then I can share it with my design team so that when they open the particular element, it will directly take them to that particular selected item where I can mention, for example, this window is not supposed to be here or something like that. So this will quickly help different team members to identify where the error is, and then they can work on it. And then after, for example, if I have shared my model through link, and I can keep on updating my models. So when my client who has one particular link of the model, they can update the model to get all the changes that has been done from the design team. So this way, without exchanging a bunch of documents or sheets, uh, the latest reviews can be quickly updated throughout the entire design process through BIMx. And there is also an API developer platform for users where they can create their own user interface, or they can make custom UI elements for their particular Android or iOS BIMx application. So this is the home page of the BIMx desktop app, where I have two options. One is I can either directly open downloaded BIMx file, or I can quickly go to my BIMx model transfer site. I can take any model from there. In our case, I'll be opening this particular file, and let me quickly open this architectural view. So this particular 3D view, it's like a half rendered view where you can see exactly it is not the way it was looking in the Archicad application as the 3D model. You can see the surfaces that we have applied are quite rendered, and you can see the shadows and all the surfaces. So this way I can quickly go through a walkthrough, or I can also explain my design from directly exploring the 3D model to my clients. For example, if I want any information on the particular element, I can quickly select that particular element, and then I can get all the element information, like what are all the element information that is needed, position of the element, and different properties, IFC properties. And I can also get all the overall height and width of the particular element. I can also quickly use the measure tool like how we saw. So I can click on measure and then select two nodes and then quickly measure elements directly inside BIMx. I can also jump onto my 2D documentations, and then I can quickly run through all my different sheets, like how I can make a presentation. I can include all my schedules, sheet list, and everything inside the BIMx. So what BIMx is quite capable, and there is no other application out there like BIMx, is because the 2D and the 3D are integrated together. Where if I want to show something or explain something in this living room, I can zoom quite into the living room, and then I can quickly switch to 3D with all the context of the documentation. So BIMx does this transition between 2D and 3D, where you can bring your documentation along with your 3D. You can then clearly get an idea of what is done in your design. So this way you can also make different cutaways with your documentation and see how it will reflect on your actual 3D model. You can also directly close the layout from here and then explain your plan in 3D to your sites, to your clients, like what is the context of the 2D plan, while getting all the information directly from the 3D model without even switching back to the 2D drawings. If I want to switch back to 2D, I can just click back on the open 2D function, and then it will again transition the 3D back to the 2D drawing. Same way, not just with the floor plans, I can also do the same thing with sections and detail drawings. So for example, in this particular section view, I can quickly zoom on to any details, and then I can quickly switch back to 3D from the documentation, and it will take me exactly to that particular point in 3D where this particular section has been cut out from. So this is how I can use BIMx to create an interactive and collaborative presentation tool. I can also bring different views of 3D, like by using the element attributes, I can hide some elements and then create a different view. And then I can turn on particular views and then I can create a different 3D view. Also, I can quickly switch between multiple 3D views from the top, like the architectural one, the architectural with all the surroundings, and then I can quickly switch back to a 3D view I made just with all the structural elements of the model. So this way, I can share this model with different stakeholders who only need particular information from the model. And then we also have all the integrated hyperlinks. As you can see, the different blue marks over different areas, which are nothing but the integrated documentations cut from different levels from the 3D model. I can also quickly click on any of those hyperlinks and then open that particular drawing, either in 2D or 3D. And so these are the basic features of BIMx that applies to all the different versions of BIMx. And now I'll also talk about all the new features that came along with BIMx. So now I can also have the control of different layers that I have brought directly from my BIM authoring tool. So where now I'll have access to all the different layers which we can directly turn on or off inside BIMx itself. And there is integration between the Apple Vision Pro, which will allow me to create an spatial canvas to explore building models. It also works with the Google Cardboard as well. We have an VR integrated directly inside the application as well. We can use both the VR devices. And then the 3D model switch option, which I showed, switching from one 3D model view to the other different 3D model views that we have created. There is also a new option where I can compare these 3D models. And then I can also get accurate sun positioning if I enter the latitude and longitude of the site location. So BIMx talks directly with Archicad and get all the sun positioning from the authoring tool, through which I can run different simulations by adjusting the intensity and the time zone of that particular site. So with this, I can make decisions on where to place my glazing and where to place my openings. So these kind of simulations can also be run with the BIMx. And again, BIMx acts as the information hub of your project. So even when your project is done, the created BIMx model will always stay as the source of information that you needed from your project. Like whenever you open it, you can get any information about that particular project. You can also share it with your users about the information from the project. And then, yes, we have different use cases for BIMx, which is BIMx can act as a option to go paperless, where it acts as a modem of model sharing and information sharing. So this way, you don't have to carry all your set of documentations on your client visit or your site visit. You can just carry your iPad with the BIMx installed. You can review the changes on the site, or you can report all the changes back to the design team using BIMx by connecting to through the teamwork. And it also acts as your data hub for all the metadata that you have added. Like you'll get all the information like the fire ratings, manufacturer specific properties, and all the informations about the building element. And then again, no project is a big project. You don't have to carry all your projects in your laptop to chunky laptops to the site or to the client, where you can quickly bring your design model, all your documentations, everything in a light model, which again you can explore or showcase your projects just like how a computer game would work. And then it also helps as a database where facility managers and the building owners can keep. For example, any client can use the next throughout the life cycle of the particular building to get information about the project and about the manufacturer information of any particular design element, like a door or any electrical or any other MEP information. And then again, the BIMx transfer site that lets you host your BIMx model can be used to share your models through links, or you can even generate QR codes of your model, and then you can pin it on your sites when the construction is happening. So this way, you can showcase your design, and then you can also present your design by without even sharing the entire design files or anything. Just through link, you can share your entire design or showcase your architectural designs. And then you can also use BIMx hyper models, and then you can store those models in the host site in a private folder. You can also keep it on the private folder, and then you can also embed it on your websites or your any online portfolios or anywhere you want. You can just embed those links on the sites, and then it will act as the mode where only the people you let have the access for the particular model. So these are the different use cases, and even any students or teachers in architectural colleges can use BIMx to present ideas, projects without I mean, if they wanted to go paperless for a design jury, and I can think of n number of use cases and possibilities with BIMx. So even a student could update their design like every week or month, and then the professor would get all the recent updates, and then they can mark up on all the different kind of mistakes, and then the student can reflect back with all the changes. So these are the different use cases that I can think of with BIMx can come handy. And so I mean, I can only showcase BIMx through my desktop app because I cannot project my the Android device screen. So I'll quickly play a video of how it looks inside a mobile device or an iPad. So this way you can see how the messaging features work, how you can join any teamwork project file, and then how you can get all the information from the project. No audio. Um, so yes, I believe I just got the information that the video was not playing audio. So I'm sorry for that. I can also share this video with you later. So, but I guess you must have seen how all the texting features and how the real-time sun study and the shading works. So that is how BIMx works within the mobile interface. You can also try BIMx by downloading today. You can also explore the demo models that are built inside. If you also want to try and model something in Archicad, you can request us for a trial, then we can give you a trial, and then you can export your design model into BIMx, and then you can see how it works for yourself. You can also share it with your friends and team members, and then you can try out how the collaboration works. So that will be all for this webinar.